Welcome to Russian Made Easy with Mark Thompson. Mark has been teaching students from all over the world to quickly and easily speak Russian. And now, here's Mark.
Welcome to episode number 7. Let's practice saying 2 new Russian words. These are 2 of the most common words in the language. So, repeat after the speaker.
Есть.
Again.
Есть.
If I were to sound that out using English letters, I'd spell it Y-A-Y-S-T. Yeast. Listen one more time.
Есть.
And now try this one.
Хорошо.
One more time.
Хорошо.
It's long overdue, but let me finally talk a moment about the rolled R in Russian. If you're having trouble, try saying utter. Utter. See how your tongue bounces off the roof of your mouth? That's how a rolled R feels. So this new word,
Хорошо.
in super slow motion would be ch-utter-shoa. Ch-utter-shoa.
Хорошо.
We also have that very Russian ch sound. It's almost like you're clearing your throat. I mean, as if to spit. Ch. I know it's a little gross, but you do need a touch of that sound in there. Ch. So one more time slowly. Ch-utter-shoa. And quickly, from a native speaker.
Хорошо.
Хорошо.
All 3 vowels there are the letter O, by the way, but in Russian, only one O per word can be pronounced as an O. The rest sound like a.
Хорошо.
Try our 2 new words again.
Есть. Хорошо.
All right, as those seep into your subconscious, let's review the material from podcast number 6. You've just been seated in a cafe, and the waiter is ready for your order. Greet him and say, "I'll have coffee, please."
Здравствуйте. Я буду кофе, пожалуйста.
How should you thank him when he brings it?
Спасибо.
To which he will reply,
Пожалуйста.
Now wait a second, what does пожалуйста mean? Please or you're welcome? Well, hopefully you recall that it literally means please, but it's also used as a response when someone thanks you because you're telling them, please, there's no need to thank me.
Пожалуйста.
Now, looking at the menu, you notice a photo of some food item that looks like pasta. And, like so many foreign foods, the word is a cognate in Russian. Listen.
Паста.
So point to the picture and ask the waiter with just 2 words, is this pasta?
Это паста?
How will he say, yes, this is pasta?
Да. Это паста.
So tell him, I'll have the pasta, please.
Я буду пасту, пожалуйста.
Did you remember to say pastu with an oo sound at the end? Remember, by ordering pasta, we're doing something to the word, and so its ah ending has to change to oo. If you're still shaky on that, it might be worth reviewing the previous podcast, number 6. But if you got it right and said pastu, honestly, you're doing great. So, do you recall those 2 words we started the podcast with?
Есть. Хорошо.
Let's see if you can figure out what they mean. Pretend I'm at my Russian friend's apartment. As he heads into the kitchen, he asks me if I want a beer. I know he usually has a big selection of beers in his fridge, so listen to our conversation.
Есть Хайнекен?
Да, есть.
Хорошо. Я буду Хайнекен, пожалуйста.
Let's try a similar example, but with soft drinks. My girlfriend is standing by her refrigerator and asks if I want a soda. I know she has all sorts of soft drinks, so I ask her, Есть Sprite?
Да, есть.
Хорошо, я буду Sprite, пожалуйста. Do you kind of have a feel for how those two words might translate? Here's that first conversation in English. Is there Heineken? Yes, there is. Okay, I'll have a Heineken, please. So, Есть translates as, is there, or there is, depending on if you're using it to ask a question or to make a statement. But super literally, it translates as, there exists. As in, there exists Heineken? Yes, there exists. That's awkward sounding for sure, but it's important to know. And what about that other word?
Хорошо.
Well, that can translate a number of ways. In these examples, it's used like the English word okay. Okay, I'll have a Heineken.
Хорошо. Я буду Хайнекен.
The word is also used as a way of agreeing, like imagine your wife says, I think I'll make soup tonight. Sound good to you? You'd reply, okay.
Хорошо.
You want to go to the movies?
Хорошо.
The word has other uses and meanings that we'll pick up as we go along. Хорошо? Anyway, let's step back into the cafe and put those words to work for us. So, you're sitting at the table, and you've already exchanged greetings with the waitress, so ask her, is there soup?
Есть суп?
Listen to her response.
Да, есть борщ и есть солянка.
So she said, yes, there is borscht and there is solyanka. Since you're probably not familiar with what solyanka is, let's play it safe and order the borscht. Tell her, I'll have the borscht, please.
Я буду борщ, пожалуйста.
But if you were feeling adventurous and wanted to try a new soup, how would you say, I'll have the solyanka?
Я буду солянку.
Did you remember to change the a at the end of solyanka to an u sound? Solyanku?
Я буду солянку.
Now, you're having trouble finding coffee on the menu, so ask the waitress, is there coffee?
Есть кофе?
Again, listen to her answer.
Да, есть. И есть капучино.
Tell her, okay, I'll have the cappuccino, please.
Хорошо. Я буду капучино, пожалуйста.
Now here are two more easy cognates in Russian. Again, they're foods. Listen and repeat.
Йогурт. Маффин.
So, we say yogurt, and in Russian it's
Йогурт.
with that deep oo sound, yogurt.
Йогурт.
And that second one is muffin. Listen one more time.
Маффин.
They have a ma sound at the beginning.
Маффин.
And for that, envision a blueberry muffin or some other sweet muffin. Basically think cakey and not bready. So, Imagine your girlfriend has come over for breakfast, but sadly you don't have much to offer. Tell her, there's coffee, there's yogurt, and there's a muffin.
Есть кофе, есть йогурт и есть маффин.
And now, here's your tip of the day from Russian Made Easy.
Today's tip is quick and easy. When you're in Russia or Ukraine and you're using your Russian, try asking questions that you already know the answer to. That might sound like a dumb thing to do or a waste of a person's time, but it's not, because since you already know the information, you can relax and focus all your attention on listening to the native speaker. When I was in Moscow, for example, I'd stop people on the street from time to time and ask how to get to Red Square. Again, even though I knew exactly how to get there, because I wanted to analyze their answers and their word choice and so on without the stress of, man, I got to make sure I remember all this. So that's the tip of the day. From time to time, ask questions you already know the answer to. Anyway, let's put all our new vocabulary together now. So you're in a cafe and the waitress comes over. Start by greeting her.
Здравствуйте.
You're hoping to hear that same greeting, but instead she says,
Добрый день. Что вы хотите?
gulp. Well, don't panic. She used a different greeting, Добрый день. And then she followed with,
Что вы хотите?
as she pulled out her pad and pen. So we haven't learned all those words that she said, but we have encountered что, remember? In podcast number 5, we learned to point at something and ask, what is this?
Что это?
So,
Что?
is the Russian word for what. So when the waitress pulls out her pad and pen and asks,
Что вы хотите?
she's asking, what something something. And it's a safe bet she's asking, what do you want? Or what would you like? She obviously wants to know your order. So let's ask her, is there soup?
Есть суп.
How will she say, yes, there is. There is borscht and solyanka.
Да, есть борщ и есть солянка.
Tell her, okay, I'll have the borscht, please, and coffee.
Хорошо. Я буду борщ, пожалуйста. И кофе.
Change your mind. Tell her, no, I'll have the solyanka.
Нет, я буду солянку.
She says, solyanka? Okay.
Солянку? Хорошо.
Tell her, thanks.
Спасибо.
And she says, you're welcome.
Пожалуйста.
That was kind of fun. Let's try another one. The waiter comes over, so greet him.
Здравствуйте.
He also uses that other greeting.
Добрый день.
And then he asks you,
Что вы хотите?
we know he's asking what something something. I don't want to officially learn this phrase yet. We'll cover it in a future episode. But for now, we're just going to assume he's asking, what do you want? Now, imagine that although it's 11 a.m., you haven't had breakfast yet. So let's ask him, is there yogurt?
Есть йогурт.
And here's his reply.
А завтрак хотите? Ну, есть йогурт, есть маффин, есть блины и есть кофе и капучино.
That was a long one. You'll notice this happens a lot with any foreign language you learn. Native speakers never seem to use the exact phrases you've studied. Of course, why would they? The assumption by native speakers is essentially, well, he knows those words, the ones he's using, so he must know these words too. But don't worry, we can deal with this. Let's first listen one more time to his response.
Завтрак хотите? Ну, есть йогурт, есть маффин, есть блины и есть кофе и капучино.
The first 4 words basically are new to us, but then he gets to stuff we have learned.
Есть йогурт, есть маффин, есть блины и есть кофе и капучино.
He's saying there is yogurt, there is a muffin, there are blini. Blini are those thin Russian pancakes. They're basically like crepes. And there is coffee and cappuccino. So tell him, okay, I'll have the yogurt, please, and cappuccino.
Хорошо. Я буду йогурт, пожалуйста, и капучино.
He reads back your order, saying, okay, yogurt and cappuccino.
Хорошо. Йогурт и капучино.
Tell him thanks.
Спасибо.
How does he say you're welcome?
Пожалуйста.
If you're comfortable with this kind of exchange, you'll do great when you visit Russia or Ukraine. Sure, there are tons of foods that we haven't covered, but there are also so many cognates when you're dealing with food, it's very easy to get by. Here are 6 food cognates just off the tip of my head. Can you recognize each one? Listen.
Омлет. Грейпфрут. Банан. Гамбургер. Хот-дог. Спагетти. Брокколи.
We really could go on forever with food cognates, so don't worry. When it comes to ordering in a restaurant, you'll do great. So do you have questions or comments? Please feel free to write to me at mark@russianmadeeasy.com. I'll see you next time.